Coach, obviously, to start the football game, your offensive line had real control of the line of scrimmage in that first quarter. Did they tweak anything? Did they do anything differently, or did they just execute better after that?
No, we knew it was a really good defense that we were facing. We had some success early and did feel like later in the game we had some stuff as well to play off of it. You know, we just didn't get enough points on the board in the second half, but felt like our guys did a good job, made some plays there when we needed them.
Third down, the defense got themselves in pretty good third and 7 or more situations a few times, and they let the Colts convert 7 out of 11. They came into the game converting less than 35% of the time. That had to be frustrating. Yeah, that was a big part of the game, obviously, and they did a nice job. You give Philip Rivers some time, and he can get a feel for what you're doing. He's going to dice you up, and you know, that's everything together. That's the pass rush getting to the quarterback and affecting him. You know, we had no sacks, and then just the coverage holding up there on the back end.
Coach, this team hasn't won on the road in 2 years. Do you get a sense that it's starting to get in, you know, the players' heads a little bit?
No.
Zach, can you go through the decision on why Samaje on that key third down, and is it just the way the play was called, or he hasn't gotten a lot of touches obviously this year?
Yeah, it's 3rd and 1, fullback play. You know, just a fullback dive play. Felt like he was best suited for that job.
Coach Gino, it looked like he didn't play. It didn't look like he played much at all. Did he regress or what's up?
No, he played on third downs. He was in there on third downs. I know that.
You got production from A.J. Green today. You got production from T. Higgins. You get over 100 yards from T, almost 100 yards from A.J. Is that what you're looking to get, obviously?
I thought the passing game was in good rhythm there. You know, everybody was involved. You know, really at every position. There were some good throws to the backs, too, on some stuff that got us some good yardage. And, you know, I know we had the 2 sacks. Felt like he had time back there in the pocket, did a nice job. But, again, ultimately it's just there was a drive there. I think at the end of the first half there that we punted. We felt like we should have gotten more there, kind of shot ourselves in the foot. And then obviously the 3rd and 2 there, you know, it was a 3rd and long one, 3rd and 2 there to start the second half. We had quick game going. Felt like there could have been a conversion there that we just missed on. So those were some key plays in the game.
How's Joe Mixon's foot?
He came back and played. So that's really the extent of what I know right now.
Zach, you guys have dropped a ton of one-score games. I mean, out of all of those, is this maybe the toughest one to swallow because of the position y'all were in at one point?
It's a tough one to swallow for sure. You know, and again, we didn't earn it. And let's get this win. And that's all of us. That's the coaches and the players, and everyone's got to be accountable to that. We put ourselves in a tough position here, you know, with just one win. And it doesn't matter if you feel like you've done better than that. That doesn't matter. Your record is what you say it is, what it says that you are. And we got to go earn these wins, man. And it's tough to beat good teams on the road. Felt like we certainly had some opportunities, and we just didn't do enough to make it happen, and they did. And that's the bottom line. You got to give their hats off to them.
How do you feel like you guys did on the last series of the game, and also what happened on that last play?
They brought an overload pressure there. And it looked like they played palms with 2 under and made a good play. Safety came up and made a good play. So I thought it looked like the protection was pretty good versus tough pressure. And they picked it up. And again, just they made one more play than we did.
You have a guy like
about next play, next day, next game. How do you make sure this doesn't linger?
Yeah, you got to have those conversations with everybody on the team. It's not just addressing the team. It's making sure we're in great communication with the key leaders on the team and making sure everybody's pulling the same direction. And but again, this thing, the way that we feel like this locker room is built right now, it's trending in the right direction to handle adversity. Sometimes it is tough sledding like it is right now, but I do feel confident. Again, we said last week, don't hit the panic button, and we come out on the road against a good team and start strong and don't finish the right way necessarily, but we know that we're capable of doing it the right way. We just haven't done it yet. But again, I got a ton of confidence in the players in that locker room that they're going to pull together, be stronger, and we got a big divisional game next week.
Like it's not that big, that fast. Maybe not the game plan doesn't change, but does the mindset change at all?
No, we made clear that the mindset didn't need to change. You know, I knew they were capable. He's capable of getting in a rhythm and scoring points, and just watching their tape, he can push the ball down the field and score quickly. They tried to a couple times. They missed a few and they hit a few, but that's what you know about them. So not for 1 second do you relax and change the way that you're calling anything. And I felt like we didn't do that. I should say I felt like we stayed with the plan that we believed in and didn't alter just because we had a lead. And again, we just didn't execute well enough.
So Jack, you guys had
about trending
Go
in the
ahead,
right
James.
direction.
I'm sorry. I hear a lot of people talking. Go ahead, James.
Sorry, Ben. I know you've been talking about trending in the right direction and not panicking, but at some point when you have 1 win in 6 games, Zach, do you feel like that you do need to have some wins to prove that, at least maybe to you guys in the inside, a lot of the players, that you are trending in the right direction?
Well, it validates what you're doing. And ultimately, that's why we're here. We're here to win football games. That's what makes everybody happy. But at the same time, we're not going to compromise the way that we go about things, you know, because it's the way that we're built right now. We feel like we should be winning some of these football games against good football teams, and just hasn't gone our way yet. But again, just like last week, we're not going to panic. We're going to keep coming to work. I do feel like a lot of the habits in the building are improving to where at one point the time is going to turn, and we're going to gain some momentum, and we're going to make believers of everybody outside the building, because we got the guys in the building. But it's just putting our best foot forward and going to get a win next week against Cleveland.
Coach, you went for it on a couple fourth downs, and then you obviously kicked field goals on a couple fourth downs as well. What goes into that, and what's the thought process?
There's a lot of conversation, you know, that we have upstairs and down below. And that key 4th and 1, to have a chance to take the lead in the fourth quarter. You know, our offense had gotten 2 turnovers at the point of the game. And just I believed in those guys that they were going to be able to get a stop for us when we converted that 48-yarder. We didn't, you know, hit the crossbar, and that's the way the game goes. But wasn't an easy decision when you're in 4th and 1 to have a chance to go for it. I felt like it was middle of the fourth quarter. We can go take this lead, rely on our defense to get a stop, and then finish the game the right way. And again, it just didn't work out for us. But I don't know that I would change that decision.
Guys, 1 more minute with Coach.
Zach, you talked about Rivers getting in a rhythm when he gets time. Would you have liked to have seen Lou heat him up a little bit more and send more pressure?
We didn't always get home, you know, and so and I say get home. They picked it up. They do a nice job. So it's not always as simple as just calling pressures and then thinning out your back end. You know, that can be tough if they do a nice job picking it up. So there's a balance there. Again, it takes everybody on the defense. Sometimes just a 4-man rush, you got to go affect the passer as well. And we're counting on those guys up front to do that.
Xavier Williams comes off the street basically and gives you all the snaps that he gave you. What are your thoughts about him?
You know, I'm not in a position to say that right now. I saw him out there on the field a lot. You know, I'll watch the tape to get a better evaluation of those guys inside.
Last question for Coach.
Zach, what's your overall? I mean, y'all gave up 360 yards in the past game. I think Rivers had his best quarter ever in his career in the second. What's your overall thoughts on Anarumo and the defense in general right now after 6 games?
Yeah, I feel good. You know, it's they got one of the better offensive lines in the NFL, and we know that we've had some issues. We've lost 6 guys inside now, and so it is a challenge at times. And I feel like our guys are believing in what we're doing. And again, it's just a matter of we come out and start that game strong and put them in a tough position. Our defense plays with their hair on fire, and then a couple things didn't go our way. And again, if we would have put points on the board on offense, you know, at the beginning of the third quarter or late in the second quarter, then the defense kind of has that pressure off of them a little bit. They can go back and play like they were in the first quarter. But it's on this entire team.